Alright. So my mic was a little bit loud last time. Trying to adjust that a little bit.
Whenever you're dealing with X-Split, the dang mic seems to always want to
be way too high no matter what you're doing. So today we're going to be painting some just Nolzur's random stuff. Excellent. I'm actually going to be painting a bunch of stuff. I don't know what I'm going to get to. I did finally get to my beholder. I'm not sure if I want to actually paint the beholder tonight or not. I might not. Who knows? Whoa. I also have my custom owlbears. I'm going to be painting some of those tonight. They're all primed up and ready to go. These are mostly resin. The little horns on them is basically, yeah. So, yeah. Oh no, I still have a bunch of the Magic the Gathering. As you may or may not know, the Magic the Gathering miniatures were available in the store called Five Below, which means they're all $5 per pack. Which means, oh yes, I have a great deal of the Magic the Gathering miniatures. What do I have here today? Today, I have one of the swordsmen and a couple of the cultists, so I might try to give them a super quick paint job as well. Again, I'm going to attempt to do speed painting this time. It's very difficult for me. Every time I try speed painting, I ended up just basically getting screwed up and not being able to stream paint, so yeah. Let's see here. Every time I click on something, it screws up everything. Alright then. So again, guys, the mic should be pretty good. Yeah, no, if you're new to D&D, just get the free rules. The free rules online are all you need to, like, play a significant portion. You can pretty much set up an entire, like, campaign with the free rules. Alright, so... Alright. What I think we're gonna do is just do the ox, just like super, dark brown if we can. If anybody happens to have a no copyright, no copyright music list, that would be great. Yeah. I love lo-fi, but I'm not feeling any of this stuff right now. Alright, so we're just going to do these things as basic as possible. So that means we're going to give these guys a quick cover of the dark brown, which I don't have the right color of dark brown. Let's see here. Let's see. Alright, again, guys, let me know if the music is a little bit too loud. Because, again, I'm having issues with the background music. Last time it seemed way too loud for me, and my voice ended up being way too loud in the stream. And this time I'm having kind of the same issues, so... Wow! So we're gonna make sure to get a little bit of, since on Reaper Bones you don't want to dilute your paint for the first coat, but this is not Reaper Bones. This is the Nolzur stuff, so I'm just gonna use a dark brown, a little bit of filtered water to dilute, and I'm just gonna put a base coat down for both of these dang old oxen. We're gonna look for kind of a traditional, kind of generic looking oxen. I'm not gonna make anything look anything too cool or fancy. Just as generic as we can get, because I want to be able to use these for multiple campaigns. I'm using camel hair brush as always, cheap craft brush. However, even though you're going to get a cheap craft brush, make sure it has camel hair. Because when you're painting miniatures like this, synthetic stuff, I've always found that the cheaper ones, the hairs fall out quicker, and it's just more difficult to get in the nooks and crannies with this synthetic stuff. So I like using just natural hair, camel hair brushes. Very good stuff. It really depends on the werewolf. When I'm painting werewolves, I want my werewolves to stand out. So for me personally, I like you to, like for example, on my Bones werewolves, I did one with gray, and I did another one with just browns. So they really stood out from each other. Let's see here. But yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with a brown, because then it's pretty easy. You just basically just a super dark brown color and then just go lighter browns. I painted werewolves last time, actually, in that video, which YouTube decided was inappropriate for everybody, because as we all knew, painting miniatures and listening to lo-fi is like the worst thing you could possibly put on the internet. That was branded as offensive content. Gentlemen. Tres. Do I know how to make bases for tres? Tres what? Uno, dos. For a tree base like that, I know a lot of people love using the, if you can get them, the washers. You can get the big inch washers at some hardware stores. I know people like using those for terrain stuff because it's heavy. So if you use a washer for a base, you'll just be able to put it on the table and it'll stay there. But other than that, if you want to use a wood base, I know Michael sometimes has the little wood bases for cheap price. So, boom. Okay, so that's done. I believe we're going to do our little owlbear guys next. These guys, a very simple paint job. They have a base coat of the Monster Brown from Army Warpainter. And I see no reason to use a different brush. Ugh. It's the thing with me. I always put too much... When you're putting paint on your brush, remember, you're always going to want to get it on the tip of the brush. You don't want to get paint anywhere else. Alright. So we're going to... make sure we get his little... I want to get his wings. With a little black on his base, that's good. The Reaper paint kits, they're all pretty good. Reaper paint kits, man. I mean, I got a bunch of them from Miniature Market when they were on clearance, so. But I know, I mean, I forget what the first one is called. I mean, they have the Learn to Paint kits. So are you talking about the Learn to Paint stuff, or? Yeah, because the Learn to Paint stuff is good, too. These are not Furby miniatures, sir. These are my custom owlbear miniatures. I sculpted these guys. Well, I sculpted the first one, and then this is a resin cast. So basically, if you'll notice, all the ears are different because I had to redo the ears every time. And I'm probably talking too loudly because, man, the audio is just so dang loud. Turn the music down on my headphones, please. There we go. So yeah, the Furby stuff is my owlbear hatchling. So I sculpted these, and these are cast of that sculpt. But because this miniature was not really made to be have copies of, I had to redo some of the ear tufts and stuff after the fact. So yeah, they all look a little bit different because of that. So let's see here. I think I'm going to start working on a fourth miniature, actually, because the two owlbears and the two oxen are drying. So I think I'm going to paint this. This is from the Magic the Gathering board game. It's a very nice miniature, very simple, but it does have some nice detail. Very good stuff. I rebased this on a cheap Wargaming 28mm base. So what I want to do on this one, see, I can't quite tell on this one if this is armor or it's definitely armor down the side. So we want to probably we want to try to pick out the black armor. I'm sorry, we want to pick out the armor with black, and we'll go from there. I mean, custom terrain stuff, I've done a bunch of videos with just making terrain out of, like, garbage. Stuff I've gotten from Goodwill and stuff. I've done a bunch of different videos like that. But I don't have any of that stuff to paint right now. And mostly that stuff is like, you know... I think the only custom stuff I did was slightly altering some of it. But, yeah. So this is pretty cool. I can't quite tell what is armor and what is not. So I'm going to... And like with a miniature like this, I guess part of the thing, if you're speed painting, you'll just have to make a decision. So I'm making a decision that most of this upper stuff here is armor, so I'm going to paint this black. Because we're speed painting, so we're going to be using metallics on this bad boy. So we're going to paint the armor black, and then after we're done painting the armor black, we're going to go over it with some metallic color. The owlbear hatchlings really aren't, like, the greatest, so I wouldn't feel comfortable selling them to people. I'm gonna, if I could figure out a way to get a better sculpt, which I tried to do, I might sell them, but I just don't think they're really that professional grad. Yeah, so again, I have so many different copies of this dude because I went nuts at Five Below. So I need to remind myself that I have multiple copies of this guy. So the idea here is to speed paint, not to pick out all the wonderful details. Let's see her. He's wearing boots, so I'm just gonna. I don't know if this little back thing is supposed to be chainmail or not. I'm not quite sure. So he's got that front little thing, which I think I do want to kind of keep different. I'm going to paint this black as well. Again, I have multiple copies of this guy, so I can go back and paint another one better if I wish to. Alright. Yeah, it's a really fun miniature. Every miniature that I sculpt ends up turning... it ends up being like super goofy. Where can you get cheap miniatures like cats, dogs, etc.? I have not found a very good... because the dogs would have to be like 20 millimeter, so I haven't found a cheap one. I mean, the cheapest I found for dogs were the little dogs from the Bag of Zombies from the Zombies board game. I've got a bunch of these. I got a bunch of those, but that's only because I found them at the Goodwill. For dogs and cats and stuff, like I don't really know any off the top of my head. Alright, so we want to get some classic leather brown for his boots, I believe. And these paints always do this. Oh yeah, but if you'll notice, those vids are like, they're all basically like video game stuff. So yeah, I only recently, within the last 2 years, started doing stuff on board game stuff. I had a previous channel too where I did video game stuff, but that was before. Well, that was before a lot of stuff. So I mean, it's just like I didn't. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of my earlier videos I should really put on private, because they're all the old, it's just random stuff, skit comedy, like events that I did. Alright. So... let's see here. Put some purple in this guy's outfit, just because it seems like just a weird color to do it, so I'll just do that. trying to make my color miniatures a little bit more colorful as of late. And you know what? Let's see here. Put some gray in there. See, I don't know what this is on the back is supposed to be. I'm not sure if this is chainmail or not. You know what? I'm just gonna go crazy and paint this as red. You know, that way it'll stand out more. And if it'll look goofy, it's gonna look goofy. Do I recommend Dwarven Forge? If you have a time machine, I wholeheartedly recommend Dwarven Forge. So all you have to do is go into your time machine and go back to when they were doing their Kickstarter, and you could actually get affordable prices on their products. Yeah, because ever since the first Kickstarter, the prices have been going up and up, and they've been catering to people that have a lot more money to invest in this stuff. So unfortunately, Dwarven Forge sets are super expensive. And I always tell people that. There was some dude that was trying to give me flack for having like Dwarven Forge stuff. And so, two things. Number one, I do a lot of programs in public spaces at public libraries. I do programs at conventions with young kids and stuff. So I need stuff that's going to be super, super durable. And Dwarven Forge is very, very durable. So, Dwarven Forge stuff is... What, Kringle? No, he ate too much for the holidays. And he's taking a nap. If you're wondering what's going on in the background there. I tried to get him to move because I was streaming and he was sleepy and angry, so I just let him... So I just let him sleep. I'm not gonna wake him up. He's very, very upset. So he's back there sleeping. He's okay. He seems like he's out of it, but he's, that's just how he sleeps. If you have a local comic book store, you can try your luck with the the D&D Encounter stuff to see if you can find a group there to play with. And they usually have some quick 3-hour games. So depending on your store, that might be a good thing. I mean, like, my friend moved and he started doing it at his local comic book store, and he's a very, very good DM. So you might get lucky with a good DM for that. So I would check that out. And then I don't know how old your bracket is, but depending on how old your bracket is, you might want to just see if you can play some games online, perhaps on Roll20. But I don't know, But I think no matter what you're looking for, I think it's a good idea to try out the D&D Encounters at your local comic book or game store. Alright. So again, this is speed paint, so I think this guy is looking okay. Again, the goal here is to not be too detail-orientated. The goal here is to speed paint. So we're going to let that dry. Well, you know what? I think I might do his hair. I think I'm going to paint this guy up like he might be a vampire spawn. So I'm going to give him the typical gray hair for that. So just give it a couple. Lighten the already gray tint of the primer. Put down some gray hair. And then we'll just maybe give him white hair depending. And then I can't tell. I can't tell if his hands are supposed to be flesh or not. But we're going to paint him as flesh. We're going to give a little Caucasian flesh to those. You know what? No. We're going to go directly to the pale skin. So we're going to do that. Alright, so that is the base coat done for that guy. As you know, he looks pretty good. Could be a noble, could be a vampire. And if you get inexpensive miniatures like this that you're painting up, you want them to be as useful as possible. So base coat done for that guy. Let's go back to our oxen. And so usually with oxen like this. Ooh, let's see. Oh, look at that. Interesting. All right. And again, if anything seems really off about this, please sound off. So, oxen. We want to go super... so we're going to do some Terran khaki. And we're going to highlight that ruff around their neck a little bit. I'm going to do some elementary dry brushing. And I believe we should... yeah, we're just going to use regiment brush for that. Nice... Yeah, the magical sets are good. The Magic the Gathering sets were a very, very good deal. Yep, just doing a little bit of dry brushing here. And, you know, whenever you're doing something like this and you're speed painting like I am today, you'll always have to do a little touch-up because you didn't get your consistency right. So just make sure there's no huge discrepancies. So that's how that's shaping up. It's not bad. It's a good, simple sculpt. It kind of depends on how much free time you have to make terrain. Some stuff is like super easy to make, of course. So I agree with you there. And I don't know if these guys are going to get a wash or not. Alright. I'll have to consider that. Giving away some of my owlbears as prizes. I wanted to do that a while back, but unfortunately, the owlbears that I had painted up, it didn't work out in terms of what I wanted to do. But that's definitely an idea. Huh. Yeah, these are nice sculpts. I like this. Kind of on a rocky field. Alright, speaking of owlbears, let's go back to those owlbears and go to the next stage, which is I want to hit Armor Gray. Or Armor Gray or Military Gray? Yeah, I want to hit one of those. Let's see here. I want to hit a yeah, we go Armor Gray. I want to hit Armor Gray on their feet and their beaks. A smaller brush. I want to hit the eyes with gold and yellow. All right. Ah, man. This is what happens with small desk space. There's no room for anything. All right. Put this paint somewhere. There we go. Do. All right. All right. All right. So, got that scenario situated. Gonna wanna paint these oxen's eyes a really dark black, I think. Just do simple dark black.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
It's a real panther, so you know it's good. It's quite funny. Stings the nostrils. In a good way.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm gonna be honest with you, that smells like pure gasoline.
60% of the time, it works. Every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Bow. Oh, wow. Let's see here. So, man, I'm doing a terrible job putting down the base coats today. Not very good. Still, that's looking okay. These guys are well on their way. I might actually just do a quick wash on these, and then maybe do some highlighting on the horn, perhaps. I don't know. And then I'll be done. But I hope everybody had a good holiday. I got into, well, someone rammed into my car and totaled it last week, so that was not any fun at all. So I hope everybody else's holiday has been going well. Alright, let's add some highlights to this bad boy. Oh. What I want to do is lightly dry brush some stuff. What do I got here for metallic paints to choose from? I've got some. I don't have. I left all my metallic paints. Well, that's fun. I can do the plate mail, which is the usual first coat for stuff like this. We'll do that. Do just a quick dry brushing of his armor. Yeah, this is slopping on awful. Oh boy. Yeah, I need to remind myself this is a quick paint. So I'm not looking for perfection here. But yeah, this is not This is some C- dry brushing I'm doing here, guys, so. I think I can save this if I do a quick wash over it. Maybe. Shoot. Alright, okay. so... Alright. So I think just gonna give this guy some washes. Alright. So with this guy, you can get a little paint if you get a little bit crazy with the wash, which I think you can see if I can just see here. So his face obviously got a little bit messed up. You can wet your brush, dry it off a little bit, and then kind of poke at the wash and get rid of the excess a little bit. That's what you can do for that. Bad we go. I think that's the guy. Looks okay. So obviously already this guy, I think is already looking better than a pre-painted, you know, D&D guy. Obviously not the best, but I mean, you know, and +2, speed painting. So I'm constantly breaking my own rules with speed painting. With speed painting, you want to make sure that your miniature is simple, is colorful, and is easily identifiable. So I believe that that is good for this guy. But I am going to give him a little bit of the old strong tone Army War Painter wash, a little bit especially around his boots and stuff, just to make sure any of the little details will stand out even more. With the added benefit of a speed paint like this, if you do it this way, then you can actually also make sure that you're not going to miss any bits and pieces that you might have missed when you're going through, because it'll actually help you out, cover up your mistakes a little bit. And I need to get some white in his hair a little bit, just to make that stand out a little bit more. Not a lot, just a little bit. Little bit of dry brushing. Ah, yes. That actually looks pretty dang good. I am very, very happy with that. So now we have a mini that would be, you know, very much, you know, very much at home in a number of different ways. So, yeah. Very nice. Do a little bit of a... I think we want to paint that handle a nice blood red just to go so it's a little color coordinated. And then I will force myself to be done with this miniature. Because again, this is supposed to be speed painting.
Ryan Litzel.
There we go. Perfect. Hatchables for miniatures. Are you talking about this guy right here? This is about half the time of the stream, so maybe 30 minutes. Just hatchables in general? No, as far as I know, hatchables are... yeah. quite frankly, I have no idea what hatchables are. I would assume they would not be acceptable for miniatures, though. Oh, I regret the fact that the vast majority of PVC sculptures and whatnot out there are just not very good. LARPing with hatchables. Now that's an issue. That's an idea there. Well, good luck, friend. Oh man, when I was like homeless for a brief amount of time, there was 2 periods of my life when I was technically homeless. The first time was actually when I was putting myself through grad school. There was like this weird period of time like where I didn't have anywhere to stay. So it was between like a summer session and something else. And I was actually sleeping in like a student lounge area. And it was like literally like 2 in the morning. And I had found out that this like lounge area was actually open like 24 hours. So I figured, oh hey, there's a couch there. I'll sleep there. So I slept on this couch, and there was a bunch of people that like were playing Vampire the Masquerade, but like the live action role playing version. So there was all these people dressed up in costumes running around while I was trying to sleep because I didn't have anywhere to go for a couple days there. I have no idea what the heck this thing on the back of this robe is. I don't know if it's supposed to be chainmail or what. I'm just gonna highlight the edges of it and call it a day. Because I don't really want to put much more effort into this one. So yeah, this is what gets me. This whole thing is supposed to be about speed painting miniatures, and I cannot bring myself to actually speed paint miniatures. So here's this guy so far. Boom. I mean, dang. I mean, this guy, 30 minutes. The dry brushing on the armor is terrible, but frankly, I mean, this is supposed to be about speed painting, so I am going to consider that guy done. The thick layer of paint I put on the ox is not dry yet. So let's go back to our little owlbear guys. Merry Christmas, Chase Marizon. What I do is I cut them off with a utility knife. An X-Acto knife. Actually, I use for those. Cut them off with an X-Acto knife. Very carefully, because it's very easy to cut off their feet and stuff. The plastic is not that hard to cut. So then once you're done with that, so you can't even tell on this guy because I cut the plastic so close. So once you're done cutting that off, I score the bottom of the plastic a bunch of times with the X-Acto knife. So there's a bunch of cuts on the bottom of their feet, and then I put them on a textured base like this with a little bit of low-site super glue gel, and bang. That they're all good. And we're going to use a little bit of light gray here to highlight our little owlbear feet. Hey, Galvanized Dreamer. Yeah, scoring definitely helps, especially with, super glue. So now we're going to give these guys a little bit of a wash in some strong tone to give a little bit of the awful detail that I sculpted into them. Just to make sure that stands out a little bit more. I'll make sure. Alright, these guys are doing good. Alright, so those guys are slowly getting done. Go to our Buffalo here. Take a look, see what these guys are looking like. I think I'll do a quick little highlight on the I'll get a little highlight on their horns here. There we go. All right, so guys here, I think I'll give them a wash. Why not? Their hooves need to have a little touch of some very use just dirty use the dirty bone color for that. Right. Alright, then just do... I probably should not even be using wash on these guys, but I'm going to do so anyways.
The essence of hard work is one that's pretty straightforward, is that you'll never be the best looking, you'll never be the tallest, most talented, most capable, you'll never have the most money. There will always be someone who's better at whatever you're doing than you are. But you can always be the hardest working person in the room. And I think the hardest working person will always win.
I'm just doing a sloppy wash of this, guys, just to, you know, kind of give him a weathered, dirty look. What's up, Eric Shealy? Have you been having a good holidays so far? So, yeah, Beholders didn't arrive at my local game store at all, so I was able to get one, but I had pre-ordered it like for Miniature Market, so mine finally came in. I was considering painting it, but I actually needed to get these Ox painted for a game. So I'm not going to be painting that this evening, probably. Unless I get super bored, but I don't think I will. I think these miniatures that I'm painting tonight are going to be good enough. Hello, Trenton Maloney. What is going on? I'll pick out some rocks from this. Why not? Yeah, they did a thing about that. You'd have to return it to the Wizards through the WizKids online return system in order to get the stuff that was mistaken on the cart. I'm up in the air whether or not I want to do that or not. So it was a packaging error, so WizKids will give you that stuff that was on the package. However, you have to use the return system, which means sending them a box full of miniatures, and then they'll give you the ones that you require back. So that's a bit of a hassle. I don't specifically need any of those miniatures anytime soon. But like they don't provide you with shipping or anything, I don't believe. Making modular wall pieces. That's nice. Any particular style? Yeah, that's the only way they'll do it, is you have to send the whole thing back, I believe. Now, I might be mistaken, but as far as I know, that's the only way their online return store works. You have to send back the miniature, which was incorrect, and they will send you back a correct miniature. I've done it lots of times. The turnover time isn't that bad, but again, you have to pay for shipping to send them back a mini, which stinks. Dwagar ruins. That's awesome. I've just been I've been trying to figure out how to do a Dwagar campaign thing, because it's interesting stuff. I mean, they have so much cool. I've got a bunch of the pre-painted Dwagar, and then I have some of the miniatures that I painted from the D&D sets, and then I have some Snivbervlin and I don't even know how to pronounce it, but yeah, no, I have some of the Dwagar type stuff from Reaper Bones as well. No, I think the WizKids at Five Below was the most recent really good find. No, I haven't really found anything good. The Goodwill by the pound has been awful recently, so I've not been able to find anything good stuff there. They've cut the floor in half, pretty much, of the amount of stuff you can actually find in there, which is frankly annoying to somebody like me. So yeah. Whoa. No, drop my pins. But yeah. The issue is that I just have not had a chance to go and look for stuff, and as for online stuff, not really much. As you can see, my Reaper, most recent video about the Mantic Crazy Box That was actually a bit of a disappointment this year, which is just a dang old shame. It's Goodwill by the pound. It's a thrift store, and if they find something that they cannot sell in their thrift store, they sell it at the by the pound store, which means it's literally just a bunch of stuff you can buy by the pound. Lazy Game Reviews did a show where it's like thrifting, so I decided to check out my local by the pound, and I found some good stuff there the first couple times I went, and then not so much anymore. So, as for super good deals for miniatures, no, I haven't really found that much recently. Polystyrene, yeah, unfortunately, I don't work with polystyrene that much, so you would have to talk to somebody else. A lot of people work with foam and stuff. It's just not one of the materials I use, so, no. I cannot help you, unfortunately. Pictures. Oh, Monster Menagerie 2, like, it's got a lot more character to it. I mean, not knocking, I mean, the one from Rage of Demons is, like, the classic Beholder. So I can't knock that much, but basically, the one from Monster Menagerie 2 just has a lot of personality to it, and I really enjoy that. Alright, so I'm going to try to do the little feather bits, which is always the most difficult part. Painting the owlbears is a little, it's always the most difficult part, getting the little feathers on his beard and whatnot. So that guy's not looking that bad. It's just the pattern of his little feathers is always a little bit difficult to get down good, but he's looking okay. Yeah, this is one of my the resin copies that I did. I made a copy with a rubber mold. Well, not rubber mold, but I made a copy with a mold, and basically I've been trying to perfect my copying of it. But it's not a very easy miniature to copy, so I pretty much have to redo the sculpture every time. Wonky bits. Always difficult to do the eyes. Always difficult to do the eyes in these guys. Wow. I'm not doing very good with the eyes today, I'll tell you how much. Where is this? Where am I looking for? Not exactly. Wow. Difficult. Oh, well. All right then. Let's just put this aside for a second here. All right then. Well, I am not the best painter, but I like to think that if I can avoid getting bogged down with trying to get everything perfect, I am a quick painter. So let's see here. So yeah, I can wash these while it's drying. Wow, really? How many? Wow. Man, it uses up quickly. All right. All right. Shoot. Alright. We're gonna be real careful with this one. You know what? This guy's just gonna look cockeyed on a miniature like this. Alright. Have a nice evening, Jacob. For an orc wash, that would be for like a gray-skinned orc, probably. I would probably suggest maybe like a Army Painter blue tone, perhaps, maybe. Or you could just make up like kind of a bluish-hued tone. Maybe you could even try like the Army Painter flesh wash, because not the Army Painter, the P3 flesh wash, because this stuff is like purplish. It's way more purple than it is red, like for example, the Citadel flesh wash. This stuff is reddish, and the Army Painter stuff I think is reddish. So maybe something purplish or bluish. Consider that. There. Well, I think these guys are gonna be I'm not gonna worry too much about getting these guys perfect. And like I said, this is supposed to be about speed painting today, so yes. But yeah, with something like that, I would suggest maybe just try making your own washes and seeing what works. Because I think it would have to be... It would depend on, like, you know... I mean, I don't know how light you're going with the highlights, or if these are even grade orcs you're talking about. Are you making, like, a big army of them? Because if you're doing an army, yes, washes are a good way to do it, but... You might want to consider, if you're doing just a few of them, just to do dry brushing and just not do any washing. But it depends on what kind of look you're trying to go for. And then if I had some black wash, I could use that and just finish this off super quick. Yeah, I don't know. So if they're gray dwarves, yeah, try Reichland and just, you know, test it out, see what you think of it. It's an interesting question. I'm a Warhammer nerd, so I always usually try to paint my orcs weird greenish colors. Though I've experimented lately with trying to do ones with yeah. Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's 1 hour and 44 minutes. I think I did a pretty good job in that. Let me review the miniatures that I've done so far. I've done this one cockeyed owlbear guy. Get him to show up there. He's obviously not the greatest paint job. He's not the greatest sculpt. Well, he's not the greatest copy. The original sculpt was okay, but the copy obviously didn't come out as nice. But yeah, I've got... So that was done. I got another owlbear, which I think this one actually looks a little bit better. He looks pretty good. And I got 2 oxen. Both of them, obviously, very good workhorse miniatures. Very nice. I'm glad I actually wasted the time to put a little bit of wash on them, since it makes it seem a little bit more dirtier and nicer. I also have another second oxen here. Of course, this is from the Nolzurs. You can see a little bit of the damage there, which from the sanding, which is hardly noticeable unless you're a perfectionist like me, who is trying to not be a perfectionist in this video. So that looks pretty good. Again, super quick paint jobs. And then finally, the Magic the Gathering figure, which once again I intended to do a quick paint, but he ended up looking okay. His armor is just horrific looking, but frankly, I think he turned out okay. I still don't know what the heck the back thing was supposed to be, but I think I did a decent job of making it look like maybe just a textured something. Who knows? Anyways, this guy, using quick paint techniques, painted up rather well. I'm very happy with this guy. He can definitely be a vampire spawn, or just an angry noble person, or any number of things, which is really what you want for these miniatures. Miniatures that have a lot of use, because that is the whole point of buying inexpensive miniatures. You'll be able to get the maximum amount of use from them. The oxen are the Nolzur's oxen, actually, Eric. I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention to the chat. These are the Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures. The oxen are a new release from Wave 4, along with the Beholder, which I did finally get my Beholder in the mail. So yeah, I'm done for the night from painting, but oxen turned out well. Very happy with this. Yeah. So again, if you have any questions or anything, let me know. And I don't know if I'm going to be doing any more streams. It's just kind of been on a whim. That's why I have not been announcing them. So, but thank you guys for stopping by and taking a look and seeing what's going on. If you think of any videos that I'm doing that you would, if you think of anything that I need to be doing that I'm not doing, or if there's anything I'm doing that you want to see more of, please just always let me know in the comments and stuff like that. And I will consider doing a D&D campaign with you guys sometime. I just gotta, figure out when I will do that. Alright. Stop it! Alright, Merry Christmas to everybody! And you guys all have a very nice evening, and I hope you guys have a really excellent New Year coming up. And I might do a stream during New Year's, I don't know. So you guys have a very nice evening.